Hi guys, I'm James.
And I'm Rachel.
And we are Empire Dachshunds. Honey, we need to talk about us.
Oh no.
Everyone, Solus Greg and Buckles, who have joined us for today for watching us.
Department Manager Buckles!
Thank you very much.
Buckles! So, Buckles, why did you guys want to watch this movie?
5 on it.
Well, yes. I mean, you don't want to be messing with that Indo weed.
And I love Get Out, personally. So...
Yeah, I love Get Out as well. So what'd you guys think?
I personally liked it a lot.
It was a good movie.
Did you think it was better in Get Out? The thing that's the question I asked myself the first time I watched was like,
They're good, totally by themselves. I personally liked Get Out a little bit more better, even with the 5 on it. But...
Oh, yeah. You got your 40 and you were keyed.
Yeah.
I
Which
feel
was fact for our viewing of this
Yes.
movie. So Buckles and I both enjoyed a Still Reserve as adults, as we do. But, the funny thing is, I would say Us is probably the better movie than Get Out, but I think Get Out was the more enjoyable movie. Like, Us is much more well-constructed, a lot more, like, I don't know, I would, like, put together. Like, everything makes a lot more sense. It doesn't leave as many open-ended questions like, why do white people need these to take their brains out?
Oh, why do they need to take over the bodies from
African Americans? Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's a good movie, certainly, and obviously a movie I like a lot because, like I said, I think I enjoyed that movie a lot more than I enjoyed Us. I think Us was a more cohesive, singular movie. Didn't raise the kind of questions that Get Out raises.
It kind of raised some interesting ones because, as you know, in the movie, they make a reference that these tethereds were designed by the government so that they can control the people up above, but it was a failed attempt and they just abandoned it. And so I was kind of reading some, comments about, people with the whole plot points and everything, and some of them made great sense. You're like, that's very accurate. How is that? One of them being, why didn't the government just euthanize all the clones? And who was taking care of the bunnies? And what were the bunnies eating? Because there was no vegetation down there. And because obviously the tethereds weren't smart enough to make cooked rabbit. And
So there's a question for you guys. How much does it bother you when a movie raises these kind of questions, like continuity questions, like how it works?
It's not so much if you're watching the movie that you're asking those questions unless it's blatantly clear. Good reference is the rabbits. There's no vegetation. They're kept in cages. How are they supposed to, live? There had to be somebody there.
Did you think about that while the movie was happening?
No, not right off the bat.
I did. I just felt bad for the bunnies.
I think the last movie I had these big, deep questions about was The Quiet Place. When we went and saw it in the theaters, I'm like, government never said to itself, there's sound-hunting creatures, maybe they're sensitive to sound. We just were like, nope, they win the world, everyone else is dead.
I have not seen The Quiet Place yet.
Well,
we haven't.
Hey, movie night!
No, I like Us, but I agree. I think it is a visually a better movie than Get Out, but I did enjoy Get Out far more.
How much more of a singular experience was seeing Get Out in the theaters? That
was
movie was
interesting.
out for a month and a half before we saw it in theaters, and people were still cheering when stuff happened.
I mean, it was almost like people were invested in that. But that's when we get to that movie. But this is Us, so it's we'll talk about that.
This is Us, the television program. Guys, we're on ABC on Wednesdays. But... No, I did enjoy this movie quite a bit, obviously. I think Jordan Peele's got a keen eye for horror, which is so weird considering his background.
Yes. Him being in comedy and everything, you don't see that transition or those working together very often, and he does it really well.
I think it's especially nice because him and whoever he's using on his crew, because I didn't bother to look it up, but he's got a good sense of cinematography, too, in his films. They're very lit very specifically. Get Out's very bright, but this is very muted.
Very red, I would say.
At times, yeah.
Detailed. He's very detailed about the small stuff.
Which is funny watching the special features that we watch. It's just him what if you talked a little apart from one another?
Yeah.
One thing I did notice in this movie compared to Get Out is that he was more into his comedy than, being serious horror. Like, there was a lot more like, there's this song in this scene. You wouldn't associate that with a horror movie.
Oh, like when she says, Ophelia, call the cops, and then it plays the song, Fuck the Police.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You kind of go, yeah, there's those where you just kind of have that, like, moment of a chuckle.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, though, Get Out had a lot of funny moments. I mean, that whole character of, his name is escaping me from the movie, but he's the TSA agent. They
Best friend.
fucking handle it. Like, apparently he rewrote that and he's like, we need a win. Like, it was originally supposed to be like the cops get him. And it's like, oh, black guy shot a white lady. Let's haul him off to jail.
I do like the end of that where the TSA does win.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
'Cause they
everybody
handle
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But that's for when we reviewed that
Yes.
movie. This is us.
Wednesdays on ABC. Some TV shows still going. I know it was really popular for a while, but like I've never really cared.
Yeah.
It's like, oh boy, a dramedy starring Mandy Moore, I want to say.
It's got a bunch of people, but who gives on that? No, I did like.
See, this is where any possible viewers we have fall out, because we talked some mess on This Is Us. It's like, well, I liked movies until I saw this review and told me that my love of This Is Us is too much for them, so I guess my viewership is as well.
Yeah, no, I did like a lot of the nods to classic horror movies that were in this, like A Tale of Two Sisters and The Shining, and like a lot of those kind of things that you saw.
I think the thing I really liked about it is the fact that so much of the movie is spent with menace rather than actual, like, direct in your face horror. Like, they're just like stalking them. They're playing with them for various points in the movie. Like, they could have killed the husband very early in the movie, very easily, because he hurt his leg. They could have killed the daughter. They could have killed the son.
They could have killed the father right when he walked up to them.
Well, and that's actually kind of an interesting thing in comparison to like their family than the wealthy family.
With Tim Heidecker and
They just
Elizabeth
died
Moss.
within instance.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, hey, there's our doppelganger, and they're all dead.
Well, yeah, because I wonder if it's a same idea about how tethered they are. Like, is it supposed to be, are they tethered in terms of personality as well? Like, is this supposed to tell me, hey, these guys like instant gratification because
the twins
lady was drinking rosé on the beach?
Well, no, they said the soul was not tethered.
Yeah, but you got to think about it also too. The twins were very vain and awkwardly attached on the beach versus when you saw them in the house, and so were the doppelgangers or the tethered. So
the funny thing about this is they reference Jeremiah 11:11 a bunch of times. I haven't bothered to look it up to see what it actually says, and they don't bother to mention it in the film.
I mean, I can go grab my phone and we can look it up now.
I was about to say, I believe there's a Bible right near you.
There is.
Jeremiah was
How do I look it up? I don't even know how to look
you
it
know
up.
how to look.
I'm a sinner.
Sacrilege.
I am. I mean, my great uncle was a priest, but I didn't go to church.
All
My
right.
family is Irish Catholic.
So, talk amongst yourselves while I get into my biblical passages.
No,
Oh, jeez.
Do you need
You have
some
any-
help with that?
It's not that. It's the reference.
It's not the King James version.
Well, I have an Oxford Study Bible out in the other room that I had from college, but... There we go.
but
Is
we'll,
Jeremiah even a chapter? I don't remember that one. Yes, 884. This is the one I got from when I was confirmed when I was 8.
yeah, my parents and I didn't go to church.
My dad was raised Catholic.
Yeah.
I went to mass.
All right, Jeremiah 11. I'm to 11:11. So now I, the Lord, warn them that I am going to bring destruction on them. They will not escape, and when they cry out to me for help, I will not listen to them. Well, fair enough.
So uplifting.
It makes sense though.
So basically, it's saying that the tethered are to bring destruction on the earth.
See, the funny thing is, though, they don't seem to have a plan. I mean,
They had a plan.
They didn't have
Hands
a plan
across
of
Hands.
sales.
America.
They're stopping poverty, okay?
I
Or hunger.
mean,
Well, they
technically,
probably-
yes.
I
but,
stopped hunger according to 1986. That's all I'm saying.
But at the same time, they were probably really hungry of just eating rabbit. So yeah, they probably cured their own hunger there.
And if you kill enough people, you've solved hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Population control.
You know, it's kind of like in what is that? Infinity Wars. Thanos kills off half the population. You double the population by creating clones, so now you just kill half of them.
And you're back to
I like the idea of it though, because it's like perfect, like a government idea. Like, what? How do we control people? We'll make a second version of them, guys. Like, oh, what do we do with it now that we've done it?
Kill off
Nothing.
well, they found that it was a failed attempt. It didn't work. They couldn't control the
Yeah,
people.
and you
at
notice they were like, well, cost-effective measures of shooting each one in the head would be too much money. I mean, our books are over to the top already, guys. We're trying to pass a budget this year.
It was cheaper to buy them rabbits and drop them off, okay?
I mean, rabbits basically buy themselves after a certain point. There's a reason why they call it,
fucking like rabbits.
Sorry for the profanity.
No, you're not.
I know it.
Yeah.
All right. Who would you recommend this movie to? Would you recommend it universally, or would you?
Select people.
Like
Just
what kind of select people? Like which one of your groups would you like?
People who act like critical thinkers more, not people who want instant gratification, sadly,
You
because
don't think it has Instagram?
it does, but just somebody who actually prefers like the thought process of movies.
See, the funny is, I think you could go either way with it, because it works perfectly if you're just like, yep, people are stabbing one another occasionally.
I think it's definitely for the people that are into thrillers and like the whole mind effing.
Do you think that's the reason why Jordan Peele decided to dress that little girl in the Thriller t-shirt in the beginning of the film?
No.
To tell you just right off the top of your head, guys, here's what you're in for. This was not a comedy. Sorry, the previews misled you. I know they had menacing violin. But apparently you were too stupid to realize what we were on about when I put that menacing violin in my previews.
Wait, did people actually think that it?
I don't know.
Jordan Peele, they might automatically think.
Yeah, but everybody. Once Us came out,
Now
like,
he's known for his horror more
Yeah,
than his
now.
comedy.
and I mean, it really came out after Get Out came out that like, oh, Us was gonna be another one, and it was gonna.
Some people
So-
are not that smart.
It's
So
true. Some
Key,
people brought
get
their
your
children
stuff
to
together.
Deadpool.
Key,
So.
you really got to get your game on, make your own thriller. Be like, well, if my comedy partner can make a horror thriller, I can make one too. No, I would definitely. I think this would be a universal recommend for me. Not even caveated the way I've caveated every other one up to this point. I really like it. I don't think it's as good as Get Out. I know it's rated R, but fuck it. Let your kids watch it. It ain't gonna hurt your kids any. I don't think doppelgangers are gonna hunt your kids down. If your doppelganger does hunt your kids down, you have larger fish to fry than
Yeah, and then you're
whether
gonna
they
have
watch this
to
movie.
worry about that. And then what if you have twins, and then your twin thinks that the other twins are doppelganger, and they're gonna kill
Should
him?
this be a movie we show to expectant mothers of 20? Guys,
This is what
I'm
your
not-
kids are going to turn into.
Twins are creepy. No, I was
Do
raised.
twins run in your family? Should we be concerned for you?
No, I was raised watching horror movies, and just-
She did turn out this way. We're sorry about that. But
I mean,
And
I
I
was
married
too.
this.
I got taught how to swim by watching Jaws and thrown in a pool. So
I mean, my dad watched whatever he wanted to watch, regardless of if I was there or not. So I grew up watching rated R movies when I was like, 5. So I mean, like I grew up watching horror, scaring the hell out of me, and it's my favorite genre now. So I mean,
see, the funny thing, I was the opposite as a kid. I was terrified of horror movies. Like, I saw the movies Critters 3 when I was like 4-ish, 5-ish. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, has Leonardo DiCaprio in it when he was very, very young.
Hey, I was a wuss. Nightmare Before Christmas scared the crap out of me.
Well, who can blame you? Did you not see the thing extend at one point? They sing a song. There's a bag with bugs in it.
yeah, but I like how Us had a lot of the nods to old.
The funny thing is, I feel like Jordan Peele's whole thing is not just making horror movies. He's making horror movies for a mainstream audience. They're not...
It's not just horror lovers that can watch this. It's anybody.
See, that's the difference between it and a lot of Blumhouse, however you pronounce movies. Like, Insidious is for horror movie people. Us, Get Out are for everyone.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. Like, anybody could watch this and be happy with it. Horror movies and non-horror movie people.
I mean, he did get a Best Picture nod for Get Out. I mean, that's saying something. Like, how often does that happen? Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning had to say Get Out 1,000 times.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the problem here. We keep coming back to Get Out, and this
You
is
have to keep them
us.
separate.
Yes.
This is Us, Wednesdays on NBC. That's right, we moved networks apparently.
No.
I think it's less that I don't have a ton to say about this movie, more than I'm like always thinking in my mind, how much should I actually say about the plot of this film during this? Like, I'm assuming anyone who watch a review of the movie had already seen it. Like, who is like, I want to know whether I should watch a movie or not. Rather, I feel like people are more likely to like look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, go watch the movie, like, I want my opinions confirmed.
It's not a spoiler review. It's a review.
Yes, with deep critical thought. Now, what do you guys think about the Freudian themes throughout the film? Or do you think that it was more of a
There is mother issues
Marxist
in it.
themes?
There's a lot of.
I wouldn't say mother issues. I'd say there's self-hatred
Self-hatred.
themes going on. No.
Yeah.
No, it's...
So, recommend. There's slight recommend.
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 I recommend. It's just more like particular people, because some people just don't like to think.
But like I said, I don't think people have to think. It's a choice whether you think.
And I think the movie is okay on its own if you don't think about it. Like, you're like,
And
oh yeah,
I think
that
it's
was...
fine if you're not a horror fan.
Yeah.
I think it works. It's not out and out like, ooh, there's a boogeyman in the woods chasing you down all the time.
Brie didn't have to close her eyes.
She did get under the blankets with me a little bit, though.
Well, you were warm too.
My stars and garters, guys. I know we've said a few mommy daddy words, but this is PG-13.
It is a channel with wieners, so.
Dogs.
Yes.
So, alright, guys. Obviously, check out Us if you've not seen it before. It'd be a little weird if you hadn't seen it and then watch this video as we discussed a few minutes ago. But please do like, comment, subscribe, and you can check me out on twitch.tv/streamsquad. Till next time.
And comment down below what you thought about us.
What, us as the people? Or, I mean,
It could go either way. Do you like us?
that's
or do
how
you like
we
the movie
determine
Us?
whether
I'm a hot
Solus
mess, so it's okay.
Or do you like the show Us? I don't know. Just Us. What do you
NBC's
think?
this fall. Apparently. Alright, guys. Till next time.